Resident Pat Brown sparked a wave of outrage recently when she created a, quote, white women yoga group on the website Meetup. The group, she said, was, quote, to allow space for white women to gather in the name of yoga, surrounded by the supportive community of white people, white yoga instructors, and all-around safe white spaces. Now, to be totally crystal clear, Pat Brown is against racial segregation for any group. The group she put online was completely fake. She was making an important and too seldom made point. Segregation is coming back to this country, horrifyingly, in the guise of racial safe spaces. It's a point her critics seem determined to miss and misrepresent, of course, because they're dishonest. Pat Brown joins us tonight to speak directly. Pat, thanks very much for coming on. So I just want to be clear, for the third time, you are opposed to the growing racial segregation in this country, correct?
Absolutely. You know, I grew up in the time of Martin Luther King saying he had a dream that he wanted equality and he wanted everyone to be together. He wanted his children to be judged by their character and not their color. He wanted black children and white children to hold hands and be brothers and sisters. And it was going in that direction as I grew older. Yeah, and then we had the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which told people you cannot have a business, you cannot serve the public and put out a sign that says one race only. In that case, in those days, white only. And then things were getting better. And in 1979, I married a black man. I never thought twice about it. And then I had children. I have 2 biracial children, and I have 1 black child who was adopted. And we went on with our lives. Was there problems along the way? Of course, you run into that as time went on. My husband did file an EEOC lawsuit against the company who did discriminate against him. He eventually got the job with the company and worked for them for the next 20 years. There were little incidents here and there, but I raised my children to love everybody, to respect everybody, and to judge them by their character.
Yes.
Yeah, and things were I was so relieved as my kids grew older because I said, you know, they're going to do okay in life. And they have done all right in life. But then, over the last decade, I've noticed things turning around, where we're now seeing things through a racial lens, where groups, at this point, whites in time, are being called oppressors. And if you're not a white, you're a marginalized person. And it has just gotten so out of hand. So, and I have a granddaughter now, who I call a PONEC, a person of not enough color, and she's going to be running into these kinds of things because now she's too white and not black enough. So I just seen this over time. Well, Meetup came along, and they kept sending me advertisements saying, you could join this group, you can join that group. And I'm going, but these are all black-only groups, or people of color-only groups, or African-American groups. And then I found out there were hundreds of these on the internet across our country. And this is a direct violation of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, because Meetup is a multi-million-dollar business. They made, I think, what, $14 million last year, $50 million, and they rent storefronts, essentially, in their internet building. They rent these storefronts, Meetup groups. People pay for them, yes, and in turn, if you have a Meetup group, you can charge membership fees like a gym. You can charge for special events like a dance club. You can charge for lessons like salsa lessons.
Of course,
yes,
but they're practicing segregation.
They have hung out the sign that wasn't ever supposed to be hung out. If you're advertising to the general public, and Meetup not only permits it, they actually told me that it is absolutely permitted. You can't say who you won't let in, but you can say who you will let in. Like, again, you can say blacks only or whites only.
So, I mean, unfortunately, we're out of time, and I just want to be totally clear. You are making a statement, and your life itself has been a statement against segregation.
Absolutely.
And for that, you were attacked as some sort of bigot. And I want that to stand as a testament to the insanity that we're living in.
That's true, but the most important thing is this is against the law, and we do not want to go back to segregation and separation. And I'm going to fight this and take this to court against Meetup.
Well, I hope that you will. And I hope that you will, and I strongly hope you will come back and give us an update. Pat Brown, thanks very much for that.
Okay, thanks, Tucker.
Good to see you. Can a member of the Royal